Thank you.
You know, I got to tell you, that's probably the best introduction I've ever written, and nobody's ever delivered it as well as Peter did. So I appreciate you for that, Peter. Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin C. Stern. You got to put the C in because the bottom line is there's another Robin Stern in the world, believe it or not. And if you Google just Robin Stern, you're going to get Dr. Robin Stern. Dang, she got my robinstern.com. So add the middle little initial C, you'll get me, and everybody will be happy. See how that all rhymed? It worked out really well. So people call me your Google guru. I'm known as your Google guru. And that's because I help businesses to kind of unmask all that hocus pocus that the marketing companies want you to think is so hard and so difficult. And I help business owners understand these things so that they can get the maximum benefit out of all of these products and services that are out there for marketing. Everybody's got a new thing, right? Everybody's got this, or they have that, or they want you to give them money for SEO, or they want you to have them run your social media campaigns for you. Let's just face it, folks, nobody cares about your business like you care about your business. So when you're thinking about paying somebody else to promote your business for you, I would highly encourage you to do some soul searching as to what you want for your business, and if you're willing to invest that hour a week, maybe, that it's going to take you to do social media. And I'm going to show you some cool ways to do that. This QR code that's on the screen right now, we were supposed to send this link out with the registration for this. There's going to be a couple of giveaways that I'm doing personally at the end of this. I'm going to give away a signed copy of my book. Somebody's going to win that cool Google hat, one of those, as well as I'm going to give an hour training session with me. And that has about a $2,500 price tag on it. So if you'd like to scan this code, fill out the form, you'll get on the list. We'll do that drawing this afternoon or first thing tomorrow, and you'll get notified via email or text message about that. So I'll leave that up there for another minute or two. You will find out I love QR codes. They're so easy to work with. There's a few more of them involved in this presentation, and we'll get to that in a minute. And I see a couple more phones coming out, so let me make sure everybody gets that. I'm sorry? Can I use the URL? You can just go to that URL. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And you see it's branded for East Cobb Business Association. That's a little thing I'm going to be talking about as well today. So, got it? Everybody got it? Okay, good deal. Appreciate the clicker, guys. You guys are the best. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the professionalism of this organization and Rich Hart Studios. It's pretty incredible. So why me? Why should you have to listen to me? Why would you be interested in listening to me? And for anybody else that's taken pictures of the slides, if you registered, I'm going to send the slide deck out with it. So you'll get this whole slide deck sent to you after the event's over, all right? Well, I have a couple of things that would indicate I know what I'm doing with this. The biggest one I'm proudest of is that bottom one, owner of I Love My Geek, with 600 plus reviews and a 5-star rating on Google. Now, that's pretty amazing for any business to have 600 reviews and still have a 5-star rating. But when you consider I have teens and 20-somethings selling technology at a brick and mortar store, for them to be able to manage themselves and handle themselves to get nothing except 5-star reviews is pretty impressive. Now, people ask me, well, you're paying for your reviews. How do I know those aren't real reviews that somebody actually left? Maybe you're a horrible business. Well, I would ask you, where's the bad ones? Let's just leave that out there for a second. If I'm a horrible business and I have no bad reviews, well, I lied. We have 5 1-star reviews. All of them were people that did not do business with us, and we didn't even ask a question about it. Because the number one question I get asked is, how do I get rid of a bad review? You don't. You go out and get 100 more and you wipe that sucker out. I have 5 or 6 1-star reviews, but we have a 5.0 rating. That's how you get rid of a bad review. You just make it non-existent. You give it no power over you by getting a lot more really good reviews, okay? And I will tell you that little list of badges right there really makes me giddy, because we've been a part of this Grow with Google program for a lot longer than that. But they came up with that cool logo in 2019. And so I've started tracking it every year. We add on the latest logo. So that's just a little indication of what we're doing with them. And this high impact partner thing, I found out 12 years ago that I could represent Google in the community just by saying, I'll do some more of this. I'll teach classes to other business owners and show them how to use Google products and services. They sent me the t-shirt, people. I got the shirt from Google that says high impact partner, all right? So I don't work for Google. I absolutely don't work for Google. I am an entrepreneur just like you, who owns my own business, who aligned myself with a brand that's so big that it just walks into the room with me everywhere I go. There's some flyers on the table there that talk about branding yourself, building your brand with Google. I get to use Google's stuff at all my events. I get to use their slide presentations. I get to wear their lanyard around. Everybody in this room thinks I work for Google. That's what I'm talking about when I say building your business using the available tools and resources, because I guarantee you there's somebody else out there that you can connect with that will help you drag your wagon along with their star. I have about 6,000 people that follow me on LinkedIn. Great. But if I repost something that Google posted and I add my hashtag to it, I'm now 33 million people possibility of seeing what I'm doing. That's the kind of power you get when you align yourself with a big brand. So I'll stop with that because that's not the whole point. The point of this is, what is Gemini? Gemini is Google's version of ChatGPT. This is a large language model that allows you to process, access these huge amounts of information. And that's really what it is. Here's a cool thing we did the other day with it. We said, if we take out a business loan at 6% for 7 years and we take this much money, tell me what my amortized monthly payment will be. Well, you can't just Google that, but you can put that into Gemini or ChatGPT. And it'll go get all the information about business loans, and it'll access tens of thousands, if not millions of points of information and data, and come back and say, $723.16 a month. It's amazing. You can get access to this information and talk to it like it's a human being. You can chat just like you're talking to a person. So this is a video that I did, and I don't know if it's going to play or not. Well, I'm sure these guys could probably make it happen, but in this video, I mean, it's really not necessary to see. Oh, it is going to happen. Can you play it? These guys are incredible, like I said. What I'm showing in this video is I typed in a request to the prompt, create a slide presentation from the following. And what I had done is I had put my earbud in while I was driving the car, and I started a Google Doc, and I said, slide 1 is going to be this, and slide 2 is going to be this, and while I was driving, talking to my earbud. And when I got back to my desk, I put in, make me a slide presentation from this. And I just dumped my entire stream of consciousness that I had talked to my phone into the Gemini prompt. And what you're going to see here in a second, it's going to start spitting out a response. Here you go. Here's your title slide. Here's the title. Here's the subtitle. Here's the image. Here's the speaker notes. Slide 2. Here's the title slide. Okay. I didn't even have to think about what I was putting on any of these slides. All I did was just a random chattering into my phone while I was driving one day, and it created this entire slide presentation. So what you're going to see when I go to the next slide, if they'll give me back control, and it did, it created the whole thing for me. So, all right, cool. We'll get back to the slide presentation, which they're going to have up here in like 3, 2, 1. Look at these guys. They're incredible. Boom. All right. So Gemini is this large language model, that's what they call it, has access to all the data, right? It has all kinds of massive information that's available, and we're going to use it in a specific way today. There's so many different ways you can use it. That's why I talked about the mortgage thing, right? What the loan's going to cost, right? There's so many other ways you can use it. But this is the beginning of about 28 chapters of what a large language model is, right? And that's a lot of small print there that I'm not really wanting to look at. Yeah. And I don't want to read it either because it's not going to mean anything to any of us. So let's not worry about that. What is it though? What is it for us? It is a virtual assistant, okay? This thing can go out and gather all kinds of information for you, but the typing of a prompt, all you do is say, I need this information. It will instantly bring it back to you. Creative assistant, that's how we're going to use it today. I'm going to show you ways that you can use AI to help you create content and get your perfect customer and all their arguments and all the responses to those arguments. Watch this. Social media assistant. We're going to create social media out of it as well. It will write for you, and it's an assistant. It's not the manager. You have to manage it. How many of y'all have heard of your AI having a hallucination? AI hallucinations, right? It just makes stuff up sometimes. It pulls data and it doesn't know which one to cross or how to put it in, and it just makes so you still have to check and verify. Remember Reagan and Gorbachev, you old people in here, trust but verify, right? Thank you, Farrell. All right, exactly. So it's an assistant. It can't do the work for you. I wouldn't want my assistant coming in and running my business the first day they came into the store. Now, after I've trained them for 4 or 5 years, I might allow them to take over, but we're not going to let them take over right at the beginning. We're going to manage all of it, all right? So how do you get your assistant to do what you want? Well, you train them, right? you train your people, they learn the processes, you see that they're getting it and understanding it, and then you train them a little more, and then you watch them learn the processes, and then they get it, and you give them a little more. This is exactly the same way with AI. When we get to a screen where we have a prompt and we can start filling in what it is we want, this thing, I'm sure it has a pointer on it somewhere, but you see down here at the bottom, it says enter prompt, right? And then here's my previous discussions I've had, and that's the discussion that I'm having with the AI right now. So in the main part of the screen, you can see I said, tell me about I Love My Geek in Dallas, Georgia. And this is what it came back with, a response from Google Maps. Any information you're looking for, you can ask to the AI. But now I could start building on that because everything in this chat is going to be regenerative. I can continue to have the conversation with the AI as long as I'm still within this chat. And I can come back to that conversation a year and a half from now and continue the conversation. It's going to remember everything I asked and all the data that it accessed. So I wanted to come up with a video series for my book. I uploaded my entire book to Gemini. And I said, create 30 15-minute videos from this content. Unbelievable what we're doing right now with those video series that we created. It created scripts. It gave me the scenes. It told me what to focus on in each scene. It told me what to pan in and pan out of. I mean, it's got the information for the cameraman, the audio people. It created it all just from me asking it to create video scripts for a video series of this many videos, this long each video. So in this prompt, you can continue to train it. And if it doesn't give you back the information you want, ask it another question. Give it a little better way of trying to get your point across, just like you would with an assistant. If they don't get it the first time, you put it back out there in front of them again. This is a whole list of industries, and I'll tell you, the investment advisors with the asterisks next to them, this is a big deal because FINRA and the SEC are really, really sticky about investment people and banker people and insurance people saying anything on social media, anything. We're coming up with a solution for that too. Because what if we could filter all of the content through an AI filter that knew all the FINRA and SEC rules? Ding, 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 ding. Now I can let everybody post whatever they want, and the AI will fix it to make it completely compliant. And that's another project we're working on the side right now. But any industry can use it. There's no industry that it's specific to. Anything you can think of that you can want to know, you can ask the AI. All right? It has so much data available to it. So what does that mean for us for social media? Well, I'm going to show you a couple of very specific things that you can use AI for. And this is just I'm just going to touch on the edge of it, and I'll offer you an opportunity to follow up with me after we're done here today. Best prompt in the world. The number one prompt in the world. What is the biggest argument a potential customer, and fill in what your struggle is with your potential customer. So I'm asking the AI now, who's my avatar? I own a computer store. I'm a veteran. We only sell refurbished computers. We don't sell new because there's no value in them. Just so you know, you can buy refurbished and get a much better deal. So I said, what is the complaint or what's the argument about buying a refurbished computer from a local veteran-owned computer store? That is now going to go out and look at a ton of data, and it's going to pull back in all kinds of information about my potential customers and their arguments that they would have. It might be scratched, it doesn't have as good a warranty, it might not be the selection that I want, all these different arguments that a person might have about using a local store to purchase a refurbished piece of equipment. So how we prompt it has everything to do with what we're going to get back, okay? So be very clear. Just think that this is like super Google, right? And this works across ChatGPT and Perplexity. There's a bunch of other ones out there. So just understand, Google Gemini is just their version, their interface with using AI. Every other company has it. Microsoft is using Copilot, I think they call it now. They've added it into Bing, ChatGPT by OpenAI. One thing you need to know though, anything you create with Google or with Gemini, you better make sure you give them the props because you don't own that information, folks. Hold on to that for a second. There's a bunch of lawsuits going on right now trying to decide if that content is owned by the person who prompted it or by the company who owns the AI. So we're working through those details now. Stay tuned. And I promise you, because of neuroplasticity, you will now see and hear every news story about AI and ownership of the data, because I mentioned that to you today. You're going to be like, I had no idea this was even going on, but because I said it, now you're going to see it, right? So, and forgive me for tapping the microphone there. I apologize, guys. So just think that you can continue to follow up. You can have this conversational interaction, and you continue to prompt it to get what you're looking for out of it. So what does that mean for my business? Here we go. Ask for potential customer objections. Whatever industry you're in, what would a potential customer object to doing business with me about? What would be the objections? So I'm going to show you in a video, that video, I don't need to run that, don't worry about it, guys. This video, I typed in the question about the veteran-owned refurbished computer store, all right? And what it spit out to me was, here's your 5 reasons a consumer would not want to purchase a refurbished computer from a local veteran-owned computer store. And it says, I love how it's so enthusiastic. Absolutely, with an exclamation point. I mean, it's ready to serve, right? So limited warranty, potential for hidden issues, outdated components, cosmetic imperfections, unfamiliarity with the seller. All very surmountable objections, but all very valid. Right? These are all things that people that wanted to get a new computer might say, well, Costco's better and they're bigger. You know, they're going to stand behind it. I can go buy it at Walmart for cheaper. All these other objections that they have. And I just said, give me 5 reasons they wouldn't want to do business with this. So then we said, now give me 5 benefits to refute these objectives. Are you seeing where I'm going here for your industry? Think about your business and the question that you would ask, because I'm going to give an open opportunity for y'all to ask some questions here at the end, and I'd love to get some feedback on that. But give me the 5 benefits of having this resource to that person that's complaining or giving me trouble. Significant cost savings, rigorous testing, environmental responsibility, excellent customer care. Who were to think of environmental responsibility as an argument to buy refurbished as opposed to new? But that's genius. I'm not putting this old piece of equipment in the landfill. We're not creating new pollution by building new computers. We're able to be environmentally conscious by using refurbished computers. And I'll tell you that we sell like $3,000 computers for like $800. So if you don't think that getting a $3,000 computer and that kind of power for $800 with a 1-year warranty from a veteran-owned company that's local, if you don't think that's valuable, let me tell you, think again. We have over 600 reviews and we're 5-star rated. And that's because we do really good business and take really good care of people. So I've got the 5 objections and I got the 5 answers now. Here's the magic sauce, folks. You ready for this? I said this was going to be about a creative assistant. Now, here they are, side by side, objections, answers. Now, give me 5 social media posts based on this conversation. And voila. Just like that, I now have 5 pieces of content that I can push out to my clients. And if you notice, it's even got emojis in it. It even added the emojis to it. Here's the other 2. Eco Warrior and Budget Hero. Yep, that's you with a refurbished computer. Support your local businesses. Support veterans while you're at it. Hashtag winning. Hashtag I love my geek. Hashtag, okay? It created this for me. I didn't have to do any of it. I didn't have to know the objections. I didn't have to know the answers. I didn't have to know how to create the social media post. Instantaneously, it's done. Now, that is the power of AI. That is what you can do for your industry. And I'm hoping that right now there's some brains clicking going, oh, I could ask it this. And everybody's thinking, I need to get back to my office so I can start punching some of this in. Because look, folks, this is it. You will not be seen online if you are not online. I'm a baby boomer. I do not manage social media at all. I have people that have done it for me in the past, and it's never mine. It never reflects me and my personality. And I have people that have done it for me in my office. I've used VAs in the other side of the world to do it. Never worked right. But when I started doing it myself, and I started putting my guts and my little bit of character into it, game changer. It's local, it makes sense, it's right up to date. Anybody reading it says, oh, this guy lives right down the road, or oh, he's in Dallas, or I live right around there, right? It connects you. And who wants to know that information is Google. They want to see you locally using their services and their products, and they want to tell the world about you and your amazing business. but they want to be able to find you. They want to know you're an active business. They want to know that if they send somebody to you, they're going to get a legitimate business that does good work and treats their customers fairly. So by being on social, you create a presence. I would challenge any of you to punch in that Your Google Guru into your phones right now and tell me what comes up. Nothing except me. That's branding. That's how you make sure Google knows you. Because I don't care if you know me or not. If you need me, Google's going to put me in front of you because they know all the things I can do for you, and they're going to put me in those search results when you ask for any of the things that I'm asking Google to put me out there for. Now, how much time do I have, Jen? So make sure I get 10 minutes? Okay. So what I'd like to tell you now is the little story about becoming your Google Guru. So I love my geek. I'm also the executive director of a nonprofit that takes donated computers, refurbishes them, and sends them all over the world, gives them away locally. I teach senior citizens every Wednesday at the library how to use technology and computers. I mean, I'm having a great time as I love my geek. I'm a computer guy. Well, I told you, I got somebody else running that business now. I turned that over to my oldest son. He's got a couple of employees. They're doing a great job. I don't have to be there anymore. But I got this really cool way of helping businesses use all this free stuff from Google. So what do I do with that? I want to start a new brand. So about 2 years ago, when I started writing the book, I started branding myself as Your Google Guru. And I went up immediately to Google and I said, make a new Google page. I got a new business, call it Your Google Guru. And as fast as I could get it verified by getting a text message back, they suspended it. Boom. It was almost instantly. I mean, literally the email that said, your page is suspended came up almost as fast as I clicked the verify button. Because there was nothing out there saying I was Your Google Guru. Nothing. I had just started it. So Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, changed up all the stuff, made myself into Your Google Guru, started posting, started talking about it, found some hashtags that nobody uses. Why would you do that, Robin? Because if I put that hashtag on something and you search that hashtag and you get nothing except me, you think, well, this guy's really impressive. He's branded. He's got this going on, right? He knows what he's doing. So after a year and a half of that, I decided to try again because now I've created the brand. Google's algorithm is the one that suspended me. It wasn't anybody saw that at Google. I said, I'm Your Google Guru at this address and this phone number. And it went out immediately and did that large language model thing and searched all over the place and didn't find me and said, nope, you don't have anything to do with this name. We're not letting you have that. The one thing I left out is I did go to my county courthouse and I got a DBA. I registered the name Your Google Guru, Robin C. Stern, DBA, Your Google Guru, which is literally just a handwritten piece of information and they punch it into the computer. But that's on the county records now. So 18 months later, when I said, okay, I got the book published, I've been speaking, all my socials are set, everything's in place, let's try again. You're a Google Guru, Google business page, set it all up, new business, verified it, and it said, welcome to Google. You are legit now. You are online, you are a business. That only happened because I was out there pushing this stuff all over social media. So if you think that this is a bunch of hooey and nobody needs it, I'm telling you, you can change the trajectory of your business, but you have to take ownership of your business. As somebody who spent 17 years trying every freaking possible method to get people to come in and buy from me, when we found Google and we started using it the right way, that's the key, right? You can see a car, you can have the keys to a car, you can get in a car, but if you don't know where the key goes and you don't know what a shifter does and you don't know how to push the gas pedal, you can't drive that car. Everybody knows what a car is. But how many of us can drive a 5-speed? How many of us can back up a trailer? There's all these other innuendos that come in to being a vehicle operator. It's the same with your social media. Everybody can see it and know it, but using it the right way to get effective results is what we're talking about when you work with us. So how do we take this stuff we got here from our AI? We've generated the content now. What do we do with it? Well, I could copy and paste it into all my different socials or flip the whole thing on its head, and let's just switch a little bit right now and talk about automation. So I'm going straight from talking about Gemini into talking about automation. I was just informed by Jen, there's a new product out there called Copper. It's a CRM. How many of y'all have heard about CRMs? Okay. How many of y'all are actively using your CRM massively, like getting results? Okay, that's good. That's about the right number of people. Your customer relationship management program. Old people think Rolodex, right? The sales guy had the huge Rolodex, right? And he'd say, hey, Mary, go in there and look up Bob Smith and tell me what his wife's first name is because I'm sending flowers to her for her birthday. Well, now we have a digital CRM. Now we have this ability to have all of our customer contact information in there, have everything in one place, but it does all the rest of this for us as well. So what you're looking at here is a screen that is in my CRM that shows I have 21 connected social media accounts that are connected to my CRM. Well, why would I do that? Well, because now I can schedule and post all that cool content that I just created. So I can go through my social media right here. There's, 6 of them right there that I think is pulled up at the same time. Type one post, so copy and paste that information we got from Gemini one time, add a photo, and click schedule. And then I can put that stuff out there anytime I want to. I never had the response to social media posting that I have now, based on consistency and this cool content that Gemini is creating for me. Now remember, I'm asking the questions, but it's given me the responses, and my clients and my potential clients are responding to those responses. They're coming on board, they're seeing the value, they're deciding to do business with me based on my reputation and them finding me online and looking me up and saying, oh, maybe I can work with this guy. I had a brand new customer the other day. We had a 15-minute Zoom call. He said, that's great. I told him what I charge per hour. He said, that's great. I'm ready to do it. Let's talk. He ghosted me for 2 days. Hey, what's going on? Well, it's a lot of money and you don't really tell me what you're going to do. Anybody ever heard that from your social media people? They give you no idea what they're going to do. SEO, what's that all about? I said, well, here's 3 people. Call them up and ask them. These are customers that I've worked with in the past that are very successful. I'll give you my least successful customer. You can call them up and ask them too. They're only unsuccessful because they didn't do what I told them to freaking do, right? You can't make it happen automatically, people. You got to learn and then you got to apply, right? So we all do this networking thing. And by the way, my automated system, I woke up the next morning and he had purchased it and we had our meeting yesterday. And his whole hour meeting with me was like, my God, this is so clear. I had no idea you could do this. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. The whole meeting, that's all he did. Paid me a ton of money to sit with me for an hour and his mind was blown. He would have paid me 10 times that much when he got done with that meeting because he was so impressed. The point that I'm trying to make is we all do this networking. We all come out and do these lunches and we do the after hours. I saw Pharrell talk for Marietta Business Association a couple months ago. Great location, by the way. And what are we getting out of it? How are we following up with it? How are we making it happen for us? What's the purpose? I don't want to sell you. I don't want to sell you. I want you to believe in what you do so much that you come to me and say, how do I get that information out to the rest of the world? All right. I walked into a meeting yesterday. West Cobb Business does a Monday afternoon meeting. If you're ever over in Marietta, other side of Marietta, West Cobb, we meet at the police station on Dallas Highway there at Precinct 5, 3 o'clock every Monday. It's a great meeting. I recently had a little health issue and I'm having to do some rehab. And I was late getting to the meeting because I had to do my rehab. So I get to the meeting and I walk in the door and 3 people go, oh, there he is now. Why are they talking about me? Well, there was a new guy at the meeting that never met me. And 3 of the people in the meeting were clients of mine. And somehow the conversation got to marketing and my name came up. He'd already been sold by the 3 people that were at that table. I didn't even have to sell myself. He's like, give me your card, get on my calendar, let's do this now. That's why we do this, not to sell to you or to sell to you, but to be very clear about what we do to everybody in the room because you're all my sales team now. You're all going to go out there and say, you got to see this guy. Peter signed up for a West Cobb seminar pretty much like this. And that's how he heard about me and said, hey, Robin, can you come speak to the East Cobb Business Association? We'd like to have you out there. So getting your information in front of the right people, getting your sales team up to speed and very clear on what you do is how we make all this work and how we make it come together. So I have all my multiple platforms set up and I'm able to take that and now how do we make money with it? How does that actually change into cha-ching, right? Well, more ways than one, folks. We make money by funnels and landing pages, which is what your CRM will do. Anybody ever heard of a funnel page? You know what happens in a funnel? It gets narrower, narrower, narrower until it drops right into where you want it, right? It's also called a squeeze page. Think about a funnel squeezes it down. You know what the difference between a funnel page and a website is? There's no other option on a funnel page except to buy. That's it. There's no distractions. There's no other buttons. There's no video embedded. There's nothing. It's just start at the top, scroll to the bottom, and here's my opportunity to buy at the bottom. That's what a funnel page is. That's what CRMs do really well. So we have nurture campaigns. Everybody that scanned that little code that was up there is going to get an email from me and a text from me that says, hey, thanks for coming out to ECBA. If you're interested and you'd like to talk some more, here's my link for my calendar, right? I could continue to do that to you forever now with my CRM. And it's all pre-programmed. I won't, I promise. You'll just get one or two from me and that'll be it. There's also an opportunity to opt out. Federal law requires that now. If you get emails or text messages and you can't opt out, send that to the FCC. They love that stuff because they're not supposed to do that to you. I get a couple of those a week and it just drives me batty. Using it for social media, what we're just talking about. Having a place where people can go buy your stuff online and you never have to talk to them. I got started into this by a guy who had a YouTube creator course. It popped up on Facebook, $47. It was a Saturday morning. I couldn't get off the couch fast enough to get my credit card because I wanted to know how to make a YouTube thumbnail. That was worth $47 to me. I didn't even get one page into his course and I got my $47 worth. But I saw that he can have this downloadable area and he can send that link or run that Facebook ad and suddenly I'm purchasing from him and I have lifetime access to that content. It's amazing. You can do that in the CRM as well. Selling every product you want. If you go to my website, you'll see there's a place to buy time with me, place to get on my calendar, place to buy my book, all built through my CRM. Sorry, Etsy and Shopify, we don't need you anymore. We can do it right through the CRM. Customer appreciation. Hey, thanks for coming to this event. Here's a free this, here's a free that. Thank you for responding. Thank you for that review. Here's 20% off the next time you come into our store, right? And it's all automated. You don't have to do any of it. And that stacks up the cash. That's ultimately what we're all looking for, right? Maybe not in a big box with rubber bands. I'd like the little paper things around them instead from the bank, but that's okay. I'm okay with the box and rubber bands. All right, so you want to know more, right? How do we do this? Everybody wants to know more. The whole crew wants to know more. This guy's the best. He seriously wants to know more. Nail filing wants to know more, I'm telling you. Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to, however, we're time constraints, right? So if you're old school and you don't like QR codes and scanning and stuff like that, just text me your first and last name to that phone number. And I will send you back a link, jump on my calendar. But if you're new school, scan that QR code. I told you I like them. It'll give you the same thing that you get if you called me. But this one will get you right on my calendar. And that interface you see there on my calendar is another CRM feature. I don't use Calendly anymore. I have a CRM calendar that's linked up. I want a 15-minute call, an hour call, a 2-hour call. I can build whatever size I want, and it's all included, okay? All right, so last but not least, you want to join this crazy crowd? You want to be a part of ECBA? I always promote the people that promote me, so Peter, thank you. This is what ECBA is all about, and they're doing this for you and your business. Their QR code will get you the ECBA sign-up page so you can join the East Cobb Business Association right from that link. There's also a chance to buy my book if you like it. They're $25. I have some with me today. And thank you very much for coming. You guys have been the best. I have a few questions maybe.
We'll get to the questions in just a minute.
Okay.
So if you would grab a seat because we're going to give them 5 minutes to stir.
I love
what
it.
What you've given us.
Do you want this?
Yes, please. You remember what we're doing here at East Cobb BA is getting you connected to each other, getting you connected to knowledge, opportunities to grow and everything. So we've changed the format a little bit where you have the first 5 to connect with each other at the table. Now you have the last 5 to connect with each other. And this time what we're going to do is dissect the content, talk about what you can take away, what prompted you. Get play on words there. Prompt, Gemini. Da-dum. And I want to thank for Robin there for mentioning Jen and I for so many times, because Jen and I certainly are intelligent enough to run this event. And you notice how many times he mentioned Jen and I. So I want to thank you for that. Ba-doom. And so that went over the heads of too many people. Sorry. That's I wrote that myself. Hey. All right, so just take 5 minutes. That's as good as it gets. Take 5 minutes, please, to to pick a table leader, how you want to do that, talk about what you learn, which points you connect with most, how you can apply them, and then come up with a couple of questions. We're going to use these mics on either side and give Robin some time to answer your questions.
Robin C.
Yes, sir.
How do I access Gemini? Is it just built into Google when I do a search, or do I need to go to Google/Gemini?
Best question ever. Thank you so much, sir. How do I access Gemini? So we're all signed into our Google account most of the time when you're on your browser, right? Everything Google does is with this thing called subdomains. So google.com is the domain. But if you type mail.google.com, you're going to get Gmail. And if you type calendar.google.com, you're going to get your calendar. If you type gemini.google.com, you'll be on Gemini. That's all you have to do is type the word Gemini before the google.com. And if you're logged into your Google account, it'll immediately allow you to start prompting. No more sign-ins required. So, all right, Farrell.
Yes, you mentioned in part of your slides, let this be your assistant, not your manager. Right. That's not the first time I've heard that. Heard it actually on this stage for a different group about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Can you dip into that a little bit more from your perspective on it, just to let us know how we should try to use this with our own content versus it doing it for us?
Awesome. So I had said earlier that nobody cares about your business the way you care about your business. And because we have the technical perspective of our business, we tend to get too technical about things, right? We say things over the heads of our potential customers, and it doesn't even stop them to engage with us anymore. So a gentleman I worked with yesterday, the name of his website and his company had nothing to do with what he did. And he needed somebody to say, stop that. Because nobody can figure out what you do, why would they come to you? We changed one thing, the domain name that he was working with, and his game is completely different now. And I told you, he was like, I can't believe this. It's so clear. We have to have a wee skosh of creativity so you can think about what is the problem that you're facing. You don't have to know what your complaint is from your customer. You don't have to know what the answer is to that complaint. What is the problem that you're facing that you need it to help you create those objections and those answers for? So if you're not getting customers, how do I get more customers? Here's another really cool prompt you can add too. Act as my Instagram social media manager and tell me, and then fill in what you're doing. Because now it knows I'm creating social media content. So you can say, act as my Facebook social media manager and give me, and fill in what it is there. How do I get more customers for my mortgage firm in Atlanta, Georgia? And then take those same arguments and those same objections and plug that in and look for the answers there. Thanks for that question, sir.
So I got the idea from Gemini, but what exactly you do for business owners? I see, are you running a CRM system, or along with the CRM system, you create our digital presence on Google? Is one thing you do, or it's a one separate, and how soon you can help people who have FINRA and SEC regulations?
I love it. The idea of being able to meet those requirements and compliance, I don't have a date for that. That is proven. Well, what we have to do is we got it set up, and then we have to give it to the big organizations and say, test this. If you can get 100% compliant info no matter what I put in, then we'll get the response from the actual head office to say, hey, let's try this. So we're in that phase right now. It's like, here it is. Here's the filter. Type anything you want into this. I have a big red nose and I can stand on one leg and sing the ABC song. And if it spits out a FINRA and SEC compliant output from that, we know we're on the right track. So I can't tell you that. Now, what I do all what you just said. I have been freed from my daily, hourly slave labor to help more business owners. And so from being your Google guru, here's the key part. Guru, by definition, isn't the guy that does it. The guru is the guy on the top of the mountain. How many of y'all read Pearls Before Swine in the paper every day, the comics, right? The wise ass on the hill? Okay, he's actually a donkey, not a guy. You go up and ask the questions, the guru gives you the answers. You have to go do the work. So I teach business owners. I free you from being lied to by other marketing companies that just want to get that monthly paycheck from you, because SEO isn't that big a deal. And people always freak out when they talk about SEO. So I can engage with you immediately. I can start training you tomorrow, and you could be implementing these things within 36 hours. I mean, it literally can happen that fast. My training methods are crystal clear, and all you have to do is do it. And if you do it, you will get the results. Actual results may vary, right? Don't forget that part. But I can tell you I'm about 99.5% for successes because I won't work with people that aren't willing to do it. All right?
Okay,
So
next question.
If you want to
please.
work with me, you gotta be willing to do it. Yes, ma'am.
First,
Oh,
hello.
we switch
Do I have a
mics?
microphone?
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, we had a very diverse table. Some people had never used any kind of large language model, any kind of GPT at all. And some of us use it all the time, different ones. And you were able to speak to all of us. And we've decided as a table that all of them are women. They're all female. But in addition to that, Gemini has a free version and a paid version.
Yes.
I've used ChatGPT, both paid and free. What's the difference between getting the free version and if you pay?
Love it. So Google has an offer right now. If you've never used it before, you can get 60 days free of the paid version. After that, it's $20 a month. The output and the access to online resources, maps and Google search and all the other information only comes in the pro version. So the free version doesn't have access to real-time data. And with Google, you get a 2 terabyte cloud storage space for your $20 a month. So you get the paid version, the pro version, and the storage to save all that content that you're now creating. And I said I'd never pay for online storage, but I couldn't help it. I actually pay for it now. So $20 a month seemed reasonable to me. All right, sir, finish this up.
Yeah, sure. So if I wanted to create some content off of some proprietary data that I have, how do I know that Google's not going to be able to access that proprietary data for somebody else's Gemini content?
You don't.
Okay.
That's one of the risks of using this platform is if it's something that you've already documented that it's yours and the ownership is very clear, they won't. They have no desire to steal your information. But let's face it, folks, we're kind of nobodies. Nobody really cares about what we do. I'm sorry, I pop your bubble. You're not the center of the universe, right? It doesn't work like that. So you really got to consider what's somebody to gain by getting access to your thing? Is it going to cause you damages? Are they going to get huge financial results because of it? We just have to put it in perspective. So yes, they can access it. Will they? Probably not. Could they? Yes, there's no doubt. Last question.
Okay, you mentioned that Gemini owns whatever we generate. So what does that mean for how we use the data, like the social media and stuff like that? I mean, if they own it, are we free to use whatever is generated?
At this point, nobody has said anything about using that content. And I didn't get to it on the slide, but on the slide where I show it creating the slides for me, at the bottom it said, I love my geek, you're a Google guru, and Gemini. So I gave them credit for creating the content, and that's all you have to do. Just make sure the credit's there. I'm not a plagiarist. I didn't create this myself. I used a third party to help me with it. That resolves any issues with it. All right? All right. I think that knocks him down, Peter.
That knocked him down.
We took care of him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Good
much.
stuff, yes?
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Robin.
You're
Outstanding.
welcome.
Outstanding as always.
Yes, sir.